Lit Life. I am right now in Mexico. Hope things are going well with you. So today I've decided to read to you my favorite read aloud, Stephanie's Ponytail by Robert Munsch. Now before we even start reading the book, let's take a look at the cover. Take a close look at this cover and think to yourself, what may happen in this book, Stephanie's Ponytail? So practice in your head what you're thinking. I predict that. I predict that in this book, Stephanie's Ponytail, what may happen in this book? Take a moment. All right. Now that you've made some great predictions, let's take a look and take a listen as to what happens to Stephanie's Ponytail by Robert Munsch. Stephanie's Ponytail by Robert Munsch. One day, Stephanie went to her mom and said, "None of the kids in my class have a ponytail. I want a nice ponytail coming right out the back." So Stephanie's mom gave her a nice ponytail coming right out the back. When Stephanie went to school, the other kids looked at her and said, "Ugly, ugly, very ugly." And Stephanie said, "It's my ponytail, and I like it." That's Stephanie. The next morning, when Stephanie went to school, all the other girls had ponytails coming out the back. Stephanie looked at her and said, "You are a bunch of brainless copycats. You just do whatever I do. You don't have a brain in your heads." I wonder how Stephanie was feeling on that page. I wonder what clues in the picture tell us how she's feeling. The next morning, the mom said, "Stephanie, would you like a ponytail coming out the back?" And Stephanie said, "No." "Well, then that's that," said Stephanie's mom. "There are no other places you can do ponytails." "Yes, there is. I want one coming out the side just above my ear." "Oh, picture, just like in the illustration." "Very strange," said Mom. "Are you sure this is what you want?" "Yes," said Stephanie. So her mom gave Stephanie a nice ponytail coming out right above her ear. When she went to school, the other kids saw her and said, "Ugly, ugly, very ugly." And Stephanie said, "It's my ponytail, and I like it." The next morning, when Stephanie came to school, all the girls and some of the boys, there's one there, there's another one there, had ponytails coming out just above their ears. Do you see a pattern in the book so far? Can you predict what might happen on the next page? Think about it. The next morning, the mom said, "Stephanie, do you want a ponytail coming out the back?" And she said, "No." "Would you like one coming out the side?" And she said, "That's right, no." "Then that's that," said Stephanie's mom. There is no other place you can do a ponytail." "Yes, there is," said Stephanie's mom, said Stephanie. "I want one coming out the top of my head like a tree." "Well, that's very strange, said her mom. "Are you sure this is what you want?" "Yes," said Stephanie. Look at that. Look at this picture. Does this look familiar? It's the cover of our book. So she's done 3 styles. She's done one up behind her, side, above. I wonder what's going to happen to her when she goes to school the next day. So her mom gave Stephanie a nice ponytail coming out just the top of her head, like a tree. When Stephanie went to school, the other kids saw her and said, what do you think she said? What do you think the other boys and girls said? That's right. Ugly, ugly, very ugly. And we know Stephanie well enough. What do you think she said? It's my ponytail, and I like it. The next day, all of the girls and all of the boys had ponytails coming out the top. It looked like broccoli was growing out of their heads. Let's look at the illustration a little bit closer. If we look at this illustration, we'll notice that there are girls, there are boys. Wait, that's not a girl or a boy. That's a dog. If you look, it also has a ponytail. Let's see if there's other things here that have ponytails as well. Here's another dog. Oh, here's a cat. Let's keep looking. Oh, wait. Is that a bird I see? And look, even the trees now have ponytails. Poor Stephanie. The next morning, the mom said, do you want a ponytail coming out the back? And Stephanie said, nope. Coming out the side? Nope. Coming out the top of your head? Nope. Well then, that's that, said Stephanie's mom. There are no other places you can do ponytails. Yes, there is, said Stephanie. I want one coming out the front and hanging down in front of my nose. But nobody will know if you're coming or going, said Stephanie's mom. Are you sure this is what you want? Yes, Stephanie. So, her mom gave Stephanie a nice ponytail coming out the front, just like this. Isn't that kind of crazy? On the way to school, she bumped into 4 trees. She bumped into 3 cars. She bumped into 2 houses and bumped into 1 principal. Can you imagine? When she finally got to her class, the other kids saw her and said, say it with me, ugly, ugly, very ugly. And what did Stephanie say? You're right. It's my ponytail, and I like it. Whew. The next day, all of the girls and all of the boys and even the teacher had ponytails coming out the front and hanging down in front of their noses. None of them can see where they were going. They bumped into the desks. They bumped into each other. They bumped into the walls. And by mistake, 3 girls went into the boys' bathroom. Gosh. Stephanie yelled, you are a bunch of brainless copycats. You just do whatever I do. When I come tomorrow, I am going to have shaved my head. Let's take a moment for a second. What do you think is going to happen? Stephanie just said she's going to come back to school the next day and shave her head. Take a moment and think about, what's your prediction? I predict that, because what will happen if she tells the other boys and girls and the teacher that she's going to shave her head? What will the other boys and girls possibly do? Take a moment. All right. I'm not going to show you the picture just yet. I'm going to read to you a little bit. The first person to come the next day was the teacher. She had shaved her head and she was bald. The next to come were the boys. They had shaved their heads and they were bald. The next to come were the girls. They had shaved their heads and they were bald. The last person to come was, you're right, was Stephanie. And she had a nice ponytail coming right out the back. Were you right? Were your predictions right? Did they all come back having their head shaved? Wonder what Stephanie did. Why did she decide to do that? You're right. She was playing a trick. And look how surprised her friends and her teacher were when she came in with her beautiful ponytail just coming out the back. And let's see what happens on the last page of our story. Who's laughing now? Stephanie. Look at her. Look at all these boys and girls, and even a teacher, a little bit upset. So that's our story, Stephanie's Ponytail by Robert Munsch. So think to yourselves for a moment, was there ever a time in your life when you felt a little like Stephanie? You're like, what's happening? Why is everyone copying me? Have you ever felt frustrated and angry? Well, think about that. Why don't you write us a story or draw us a picture and send it to us at LitLife. Send it to us at info, I-N-F-O, @litlifepd.com. And we will definitely post your pictures, your stories that might be related to Stephanie's Ponytail. So, thanks for joining us today for reading Stephanie's Ponytail by Robert Munsch. Be sure to come back on a regular basis when we'll be reading more stories. And if you have a request, send us a message and say, I'd love to hear the story, because we love reading to you. In that case, stay safe, stay healthy, and we will definitely talk soon. Thanks everyone, talk soon. Bye-bye.